Now moving on to some of the study tips that I have sort of implemented myself as a student of the Arabic language and also as a teacher of the Arabic language. Some of you may know me, and some of you may not know me. I'm an Arabic teacher here at Madinah College, and like I said, these are some of the study tips that I want to impart, inshallah ta'ala, as it relates to studying the Arabic language. Okay, the first one is a person needs to have sabr. Okay, a person needs to have patience. In reality, if you are looking for a quick fix or, to grasp this language quickly, it's going to leave you. Okay? You need to have patience and be in it for the long run. Okay? To be patient and be in it for the long run. In addition to this point, one mustn't rush. So, for example, some may be keen to study the big books of grammar. Okay? Like Alfiya ibn Malik, or Qatar al-Nadar, or Al-Ajurumiyya. Okay, these classical works. But you may not be at that level yet. And you might end up wasting valuable time when you could be studying something that's at your level. Okay, and you will find that you will progress much quicker. Okay, so one, to be patient and not to rush, because we have to remember that studying is tadarruj. It has levels. Okay, so bear that in mind, inshallah, not to rush. Okay, the second point is you need to find out what kind of learner you are. Okay? Are you a visual learner? Are you a oral learner? You like to listen in order to understand? Are you a kinesthetic sort of learner whereby you learn through touch, etc.? And you don't have to be limited to one of these. You could combine between them, to be fair. But it's for you to find out what kind of learner you are. For example, if you're in a lecture and, your lecturer's teaching you Arabic and you're sitting in the lesson and he's just writing and there's no pictures, like of a book or something for you to remember that word, and you're finding yourself a little bit, unsure of what's going on, it's good for you to know why. Okay? Because once you know why, then you're able to come up with a solution. Okay? So, knowing what kind of learner you are helps a lot. Okay? Third point is having realistic goals and aims. Having realistic goals and aims. Okay? A person may be good at reading the Arabic language, but not so good at speaking the Arabic language. So, he becomes or she becomes disheartened. Okay? So try not to take the Arabic language as one big task. Divide it. For example, your reflexive skills, i.e. your listening and your reading, is not like your writing and your speaking. Okay? One of them, you're actually producing language. When you're speaking, you're producing language. When you are writing, you're producing language. Okay? So, see them as individual goals. Okay? See them as individual goals. For example, if an alim came here and he gave a khutbah in Arabic, as an example, and you're sitting down and he's speaking in Arabic and you understand a few words here and there, but at the same time you're undergoing a course. You're undergoing a course in Arabic, but you're just not quite there in terms of fully grasping everything that he's saying. Don't become disheartened. That's a different part of your language learning that you may have not covered yet. Okay? You may be focusing on a course which entails reading and writing. Okay? Or you may be on a course that entails listening and speaking, a conversational course. Okay? So it's very important that you don't become disheartened by the skills that you lack in the Arabic language, or allow it to overwhelm you. Okay? Allow it to overwhelm you. Okay? The fourth point I would like to mention is to have a timetable. And this timetable, it doesn't include just your lesson. Okay? If it just includes your lesson, you're going to find out that what you would have been able to retain had you included revision would have been a lot more. Okay? So, your timetable in terms of learning the Arabic language should be your lessons that you undertake and your revision. Okay? So, for example, at Madinah College, we have our diploma. I think the Arabic is 2 hours. 2 hours. 1 day a week, 2 hours. Okay. Throughout the whole week, if you're not doing anything in terms of revision, you're going to find that you're going to lose out on a lot of good. Okay? You're going to lose out on a lot of good. And likewise, you have to do your homework as well. Okay? Ensure that you do your homework. Okay? That way, you're prepared when you come to class. Okay? In addition to this timetable, it's always good to go over the lesson yourself. Okay? Go over the lesson yourself, extract the main points from the lesson, and that way when you come to your lesson, you are prepared. Okay? You are prepared. In addition to your timetable, that might be just something in relation to something that you're studying specifically, so you're forced to do it. Okay? You have homework, so you have to do it. Okay? You've studied a particular grammar point, so you have to revise it. Okay? But in addition to that timetable, you need to have something that you're doing daily. Okay? You need to have something that you're doing daily. Depending on what you're focusing on, what your focus is. Okay? So if you're focusing on reading and writing, make sure that, you're reading, I would say a page. My teacher always told me to read a page a day. Okay? A page a day. Or if you're not able to do a page a day, do half a page. Okay? You try to understand what the text is saying. And if there's exercises for you to do, you do that. Inshallah. Okay? But the most important thing is that you don't let a day go past whereby you haven't, revised something in relation to learning the Arabic language. Okay? The fifth point is you have to have a qualified teacher that's teaching you. Okay? I do not advise that you learn from books. Having said that, there's no harm in you going through a particular book, okay, and revising that book with your teacher, or going to your teacher for advice. Why? Because a book, I'm not going to say that it can't answer any of your questions, but it can't answer all of your questions. Okay? Some books, they may clarify little issues for you, little grammar points, but you can't speak to the book. You can't seek clarification from a book. Okay? That's what your teacher's for. You should go to your teacher and ask him questions, and inshallah ta'ala he will respond. Where are we? 6th point, right? Are you with me? The 6th point is having an understanding of your native language and the linguistics of your native language. Why is that important? It's important because a person is able to analyze the interferences that may come as a result of learning a second language, okay? As a result of learning a second language, he's going to be able to identify, the mistakes that he's making. For example, in the Arabic language, it's possible to have a sentence without a verb. It's possible to have a sentence without a verb. Okay. We're all native speakers of English, right? Majority of us. Okay. Is it possible to have a sentence without a verb in English? It's a question. No. It is. Put up your hands if you say yes. It is? Okay. Give me a sentence. Is it possible? What was my question? Is it possible? Is a verb. Okay? Is a verb. Okay, so we've all learned something new if we didn't know that already. Okay? It's not possible to have a sentence in English without a verb. In Arabic, it's possible.
The girl shone.
There you go. Yep. Okay, so point being is that sometimes, as a student, you're learning a second language, but you don't know what a noun is in your own native language. You don't know what a verb is. You don't know what an adjective is. Okay? All of this, if you're aware of it, is going to help you when studying a second language. But if you don't have no overview or insight into your own native language and linguistics, generally speaking, then you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle.
Sorry, I think I found the sentence. Is Mummy's mountain? It's a short sentence. Mummy's mountain.
Mummy's mountain. Is that a phrase or a sentence? It's not a sentence, it's a phrase. Mummy's mountain. What about it?
Is beautiful.
Is beautiful. Here we have our is again. Yeah? Okay? So, having a general understanding of your own native language, it can go a long way. Okay? Because, for example, if I was to give you a sentence in Arabic without a verb, some of my students, okay, how is this possible? We'll ask the question, okay, how is this possible? Okay, so when looking and analyzing a sentence, you would be able to see, okay, where the verb would fall had it been English. Okay? So that was the 6th point. Having an understanding of your own native language, which is English. And also any other languages that you may speak if you're not a native speaker of the English language. Okay, the 7th point is to be confident. Okay, when learning a language, sometimes you might get teased. Okay, you might get teased if you haven't pronounced the word correctly, or something of that sort. Okay, but we have to remember that I believe there's 2 people that don't learn: the ignorant and the one that is shy. Okay, so try not to be too shy, and and the one is too proud. Good, jazakallah khair. Okay, so make sure that you're confident when learning the Arabic language, whether that's speaking. Be confident when you're speaking. Okay, be confident when you're speaking. If you have a pen pal, or if you're speaking amongst your friends, or you're in a classroom setting and you have to speak the Arabic language, make sure that you're confident. Okay, don't put yourself down. The 8th point is contextualize that which you're learning. Okay, don't have vocabulary floating around in your head. Okay, make sure you contextualize that which you're learning. Okay, so if you're learning vocabulary, you group vocabulary together based on, it could be family. So you group all of the words in relation to family in one category. Okay, and you do that for other categories as well. Okay, and likewise, when implementing the vocabulary that you've learned, okay, put it into a sentence. Try and put it into a sentence. Don't just have it floating around. Okay, don't just have it floating around. Okay. The 9th point is, especially when you're in a lecture, your note taking. Do you need to write down every single thing that's on the whiteboard? Maybe not, because you might already have it written down for you and it might be contained within the book. Okay? So note taking is very important when you're in a lecture. Okay? Try not to repeat yourself. And note taking is a skill, it's an art. So don't write long sentences, okay, in relation to one grammar point that you may be learning. Just jot down a few key buzzwords, as I like to call them, okay, that's going to make you remember, okay? If it's in your own words, unless it's written on the board, then, you abbreviate that which has been written on the board. And then I'll come to my last and final point, which is, aside from your daily program and aside from your timetable, us in the UK learning the Arabic language as a foreign language, okay? You may not get a chance to speak Arabic every day, okay? Especially if, you haven't got friends that are around you that are native speakers of the Arabic language, okay? But there's one thing that you can definitely do which will improve your language, okay? And that is reading, okay? No matter how much you read, make sure a day doesn't go by without you reading the Arabic language. Find something that you enjoy. It could be a short book, okay? But the main thing is that you read, whether it's a page, half a page, quarter of a page, etc. Okay? So don't let a day go by without reading the Arabic language. So I've come to the end of my 10 points. And those are my tips as being a student once myself, and I still am a student, and being a teacher as well, okay? And like I said to you in the beginning, this road is long. Anyone who kind of wants to, think that they could just get given a bag and Arabic's in there and then you have it all to yourself like this, it doesn't work like that. You have to place effort, okay? You have to place effort, and it's something that should be for life. Something that should be for life, because the goal of learning the Arabic language is to do what? To understand the deen of Allah Ta'ala, okay? And that never comes to an end, okay? There won't be a time, and I can assure you, a time in your life where something may occur and you need to return back to the Book of Allah and the Hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So that's never going to end. You learning the Arabic language is never going to end, because you're only going to find those answers where? In the Arabic language. Or if you go to an alim. But you're studying the Arabic language, inshallah, well, you should be as Muslims. And inshallah, you will find your answer contained within the Book of Allah or the Hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. With that, we come to an end. Okay, I did say it was going to be short. I set the lecture out like that on purpose, so it's easy for you to digest. Okay, so in total you should just have 10 points. In addition to those 10 points, you should have 2 points that I mentioned in the beginning, which was Ikhlas, good, and the second one was Naam, Taqullah wa yu'allimukumullah, fear Allah Ta'ala, and He will teach you. Okay? So with that we come to an end.